Hello there. So, this is going to be a guide on 4-tick auto-attacking. Hopefully it clears up any questions or confusion you may have on it. Let's get right into it. So, each weapon has an auto-attack speed. For dual-wield weapons, this is 2 ticks. The main hand, and then the offhand, and then the main hand, then the offhand, and repeating. For a 2-hand weapon, this is 6 ticks. So stuff like a ZGS, a sauce, those are all 6-tick auto attacks. And the idea with 4-tick auto attacking is that we weave auto attacks in as much as possible. So here, just to show off that the auto attacks share the same cooldown, we have melee and mage here. Both of us are auto attacking at the same speed. You can see both dual wield and 2-hand share the same speeds between styles. The real advantage that mage gets from 4-tick auto-attacking is that the fact that you can keybind the auto-attack button lets you force it out a little bit faster after an ability, which we'll get into more later. But yeah, every style can auto at the same rate, and autos are the same between styles. So nothing actually changes between styles except for that being able to activate the ability. Because of this, we can throw in weird things like mage-melee hybrids, where we auto-attack with a sauce, because we can force that out on the 4th tick instead of the 5th because of mage, and then we can go into kopeshes and smack the dummy. There's a bunch of weird stuff you can do. 4-ticking really just gives you ultimate control over what you want to do with your auto-attacks and your abilities. The only real use for this hybrid that I've found is to be able to practice your 4-ticking. Like, it's a little bit harder to 4-tick into range autos, or range abilities. So it's a good way to practice and get your timing down a little bit better, but in general this is pretty much useless. But it demonstrates that you get control over your abilities. Alright, so now we'll get into what actually happens when you press abilities. So the auto attacks are just going. You'll notice me auto attacking with kopeshes in this clip. If you use a defensive ability that doesn't do any damage, the autos will just keep going. So here we anticipate, and you'll see the autos don't change. Freedom, the autos don't change. And then provoke, and the autos don't change. Now, if we use an actual ability, you'll notice it stops autoing. Because of this, we need to be careful about when we use our abilities, as we want to stack them together. Because whenever we do that, we stop autoing. You can think of it as the game tries to auto if nothing else is going on, and if there's an ability going, then it won't auto. And switching to mage just to demonstrate this point more. So we effectively have 2 ways of attacking. We can use abilities, or we can just let it auto. So here's just using some abilities. And we can just let it auto for a bit. We can use some more abilities. Let it auto again. Use some abilities. So we can really just alternate between the two. It's just 2 different ways of attacking. It turns out that the best way to do it is to 4-tick it, though. Alright, it is time for the scuffed part of the guide. So, we're in Paint here. We're going to pretend we're camping 2-hand up top on this bar, and with these boxes we're camping dual wield. Now, we're first going to go over the tick system really fast. Ticks are every 0 to 0.6, or every 0.6 seconds in Runescape. So the first tick will do 0 to 0.6, second will be 0.6 to 1.2, and so on. We're just going to use those because ticks are how we're abusing the game right now, because we're doing 4-tick auto-attack, and you'll notice that has the word tick in it. Alright, so here we have Sonic Wave, that'll represent a 2-hand ability. We have Auto, that'll represent whatever style we're autoing with. It's represented by Air Surge. We have Rack, that'll signify a dual-wield ability. Yeah, so we're just going to do this. Okay, now, if we are 2-hand, we can Auto Sonic for our first ability in this first box. So we can tag Auto Sonic. Then something called Global Cooldown happens, which is the thing where you can't press any abilities during it. And that happens for 3 ticks, so it technically happens for the first tick, second tick, and 3rd tick. Then we can activate another ability. So here we can Sonic, if we want to. Or, because we used a 2-hand ability, we can wait for 6 ticks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, whoops, 4, 5, 6, and then we can auto sonic again. Now you'll notice that this is not seeming like an ideal rotation. You know, we have 2 sonic waves, we have two-hand autos. You know, it's not the worst. There is worse out there, but we're not doing great. We missed 3 ticks waiting for that. So that seems not ideal, but that's something we can do. And also, if we did the sonic wave here, we could just sonic wave again. I mean, obviously with different abilities, but you guys get the point. These are just 2-hand abilities, so we could sonic, dragon breath. I don't know. We could corrupt here. We have any two-hand abilities here. Now with dual wield, it works a bit differently. So we can do the same thing where we can tag, use a dual wield ability, and we get global cooldown again. So 1, 2, 3 ticks. Now we have the option to rack again, well, dual wield ability again, right here. I don't really have a great place to place this, huh? Alright, we're just going to block that as seconds. Alright, so we could, whoops, alright, we're just going to block the right seconds. Scuffed. Alright, so we are going to have the option to use another 2-hand ability here, or a dual wield ability here. Or we can wait 1 tick, because this was a dual wield ability. The game is trying to auto 4 ticks after that. Or it wants to. I mean, it technically wants to auto 5 ticks, but we can push it forward. So we can auto ability again on the 4th tick after that. So tick 1 and then tick 5, 4 ticks after. And then we can repeat that. So we can global cooldown, global cooldown, global cooldown, 3 ticks. Then again we have the option to dual wield ability. Or we can wait and then repeat our auto ability. You'll notice this rhythm is getting a dual wield auto every 4 ticks. Previously, this was what continuous 4-tick auto attacking was, is that we'd be getting 2-hand abilities on each of these. But now the game checks and it goes, okay, what were the last few ticks? Alright, we had a dual wield auto, or a 2-hand auto already. Okay, we can't auto here. So now the game checks. If these are 2-hand autos, the game goes, no, we cannot auto here, and it won't let you auto. So it makes it to be 4 ticks after the last dual wield ability, and also 6 ticks after the last 2-hand auto. But if we're just camping dual wield, it goes, okay, this is a wand auto. That's fine. We can do those every 4 ticks, and that's what we're doing here. Now the fancy stuff begins when we start mixing these two. So let's just delete everything. Hopefully this works. Alright, perfect. So now we're going to forget that these are 2-hand and dual wield. These are just 2 action bars. Alright, so we can auto sonic. We're going to start with our staff. We're going to auto sonic. And then we can wait for a global cooldown. So 1, 2, 3. We could use an ability here. And in fact we are going to, because we have a 2-hand auto here, so we can't auto. So the next auto would be in this box. That box is way too far away for us. We are impatient gamers, and so instead we will just use an ability as soon as we can. And we're actually going to make it a dual wield ability. So during this section, we're going to switch to our wand. I will in fact draw a wand for you guys. There's our wand, and we will also have an orb. A good old 10, so we're going to wand orb there. We'll give the wand a crossbar too. So then we use our dual wield ability here. Now the game goes, alright, or hold on. Well, first it goes, okay, we have global cooldown. So now we're on tick 7. What can we do here? So the game goes, alright, we've had a dual wield ability here. We can wait a tick so that we get our 4 ticks. Right now we have 3 ticks. We need to wait a 4th to be able to get that auto. We can get an auto in here, and also it checks to make sure that the two-hand auto was in the last 6 ticks, and we're on tick 8 at this point, so we're good. So we can get another get another auto in here if we wait a tick, or we can use an ability instantly. Technically, 4-ticking is not... It's not forcing you to 4-tick constantly. We could just do an auto and ability, and then use abilities for a while and throw in another auto. Ideally, 4-ticking is it's auto ability, ability, auto ability, ability, and every 2 abilities is an auto. But there is technically no reason that you couldn't just keep using abilities here if you aren't comfortable with it. So while you're learning 4-ticking, feel free to just slip it in whenever. But yeah, so because we can get an auto so soon, it's not 3 ticks away like we had in the dual wield or the 2-hand bar earlier. We're just going to wait that 1 tick, because waiting a tick for an auto is generally worth it. If we can do that, it's worth it. Obviously, if we don't have to wait, we won't. But we're going to, in fact, have switched to our staff, because staff autos hit higher. So let me draw you guys a big old hold on. Probably shouldn't say that. Alright, so we have a big old stick, a big old lollipop. So we can switch to that anytime during these 4 ticks. And we can auto with it and then use an ability. And then again, we get global cooldown. I guess it continue into here if you pretend these ticks continue. And then, so this is actually tick 10 here, so this would be 5.4 to 6 seconds. And then we can't auto again for 3, because we've used a 2-hand auto already. So we'd use a dual wield ability. So we'd have switch to our wand and orb again. Then we have global cooldown. And then we can auto over here. So we want to wait wait a tick to get that auto. Because again, we need 4 ticks after a dual wield ability, and 6 ticks after the last 2-hand auto. So, what do we need now? Now we want to auto with a staff again, and 2-hand ability. So you can see that we're starting to get this framework of auto ability, ability, wait a tick, auto ability, ability, wait a tick, auto ability, and then we get another ability over here. I'll go ahead and just put that in to make this nice and clean, which it is neither of, but that's okay, because we are just on Paint trying to explain this. In fact, we're even going to touch up this X quickly. Oh, beautiful. So now we have this framework of auto ability, ability, wait a tick, auto ability, ability, wait a tick, auto ability, ability, and wait a tick, and so on. And we can continue that forever. The way we can tell if we can fit in an auto, if you're ever curious, some people try and auto after certain things that they can't. And the only thing you have to understand is, say we're in this box. So we already know we can auto here, but why can we auto here? And it's because the game checks, okay, what was the last ability used? That was this one, a dual wield ability, at least for us right now. And because it was a dual wield ability, we have not because, but it was a dual wield ability, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 ticks. So dual wield abilities, you can auto attack 4 ticks after, so that's good. And it also checks what was the last auto attack. And it goes, okay, that was 7 ticks ago, and that was a 2-hand auto attack, both of which are fine. So it's more than 6 ticks ago, because it was a 2-hand ability. So we're good, so we can auto again there. And that's the key thing to understanding 4-tick, is knowing when these autos can be fit in. You want to fit in as many autos as you can. That was why C4-tick was so good, is because you got an auto every 4 abilities, and it leaves a lot of your other abilities off cooldown because you're waiting the ticks, so you can get all these good abilities in. We're now going to talk about keybinds. Keybinds are actually one of the most important things about 4-ticking. You need to have keybinds that are comfortable for you. This is where a lot of the discussion about macroing comes in, because a lot of people think that this is difficult to macro, or difficult to do normally, so that they macro it, but the real problem is not having good enough binds for it. So these are my binds, or at least most of them. I'm missing Fortitude here and a few other things, but that's fine. And obviously this is just the basic abilities. So this is not shift plus stuff or any of that, which I have grouped up. So my action bar is this one, this, and these two. So in red is my main action bar. The 4 ticking, which we'll put in, what's a nice color? We'll put it in orange. Maybe we won't. Alright, in orange, we have our auto on caps lock, rebound through my keyboard software, which is legal, 1-to-1 keybind, don't worry guys. And then we have wand and orb, we'll actually separate these. And we have our staff. I actually hit this with my thumb, because it's easier for me to have my thumb resting around here. So for 4 ticking, I have to caps lock, DF, so auto wand orb ability, which is the continuous 4 tick one, which is incredibly comfortable. I have to hit auto wand orb and then ability in that order, and within 0.6 seconds. So here we have caps lock DF, and then we can hit E or something. So caps DF E, caps DF Y, caps DF 4. We can hit all of these pretty easily. Caps DF 1. So it's just caps DF. I can roll through them quickly, and then to switch back to my staff, I just have to hit N at some point, and so on. But yeah, you need keybinds that are comfortable for you. Here's an example of some that work for me. These are not perfect keybinds. I still have some problems with mine, but this is like a basic framework. You need 3 keys that you can roll across very easily, and then another key that you can access easily as well. I can hit N very easily because that's just my thumb, and my thumb isn't doing anything normally. I don't need to spam spacebar too much, and if I do, it's 1 key down. That's fine. But yeah, you need 3 keys that are easy to hit, preferably not shift modifier or control modifier, because if it's like that, then you need to have the keys that you 4-tick into to also be shift modifiers as well, or at least you'd prefer to. Because otherwise you have to like shift caps lock, shift E, shift F, release shift, and then hit E, which you're in a rush for this. You want to be able to roll across these keys very fluidly and smoothly. Alright, so now to put this all together. So I'm going to start with a basic rotation. I say basic because this, it does cover all the mechanically difficult things that you need to know, at least for basic 4-ticking. But I do say basic because this is like not a great rotation, but it is like a simple one, and it forces you to do the rhythm. There's a few extra things I should mention. You can't 4-tick after channels and stuff like that. I'm not going into rotations right now. I'm just going into the mechanics of 4-ticking. So the rotation I am doing, just to keep it simple, is auto sonic, switch to dual wield, rack, switch back to staff, auto, switch back to dual wield, concentrated blast, then rack, switch back to staff, auto sonic, switch to dual wield, rack, and so on, and just repeating that. So auto sonic rack, auto conk rack, auto sonic rack, auto conk rack. So let me just do this for a sec. Auto sonic, rack, auto conk, rack, auto sonic, rack, I missed my auto there, auto conk, rack, auto sonic, rack, auto conk, rack, auto sonic, rack, auto conk, rack. Alright, we didn't rack on that last one. But you guys get the idea. That wasn't perfect, but that's pretty much the rotation we're going for. Alright, to go over some of the mistakes you might have, you should never see your staff move. This is the staff auto animation. See that? How you point the staff at your target? If you ever see your weapons doing that, you are doing it at the wrong rhythm. So that means that you're probably too early, and you're autoing on the 4th tick, but then you're using your ability on the 5th tick. So you need to either press your ability sooner, press both sooner, or go into your ability faster after your auto. So it should always, whoops, let me not switch to wand. It should always just be the animation of the spell. God, I can't four-tick with just the staff. Alright, so auto sonic, you only see the sonic animation. Auto D-breath, you only see the D-breath animation, but you do still see the auto flying out. And we're also going to set this to max hit mode, because bigger numbers are cooler. You can see the autos and stuff. So, auto sonic. Whoops, we missed our auto because we tried to do it too fast. That again was it hasn't been 6 ticks. Auto rack, we only saw the rack animation. Auto sonic, only saw the sonic animation. And you see they hit at relatively the same time, but it's a little easier to watch your animations, because stuff like auto conk, whoops, let me just mess that up quickly. Auto conk, you notice how the conk hit actually hits first. A few more important things are stuff like cues for when you actually auto. So, a lot of people use the GCD. So if I use an ability here, you see it goes around, or sorry, I shouldn't be looking at the same ability. If I use an ability here, you look at chain, it like goes around and then it flashes. That's global cooldown. So chain is going around and it flashes. After that flash, if you hit auto ability, that'll generally get you the right timing. So say we use a dual wield ability, see the flash, and then we go auto ability, and we got both. Again, dual wield ability, wait for the flash, flash, auto ability. Dual wield ability, wait for the flash, two-hand ability and auto. Easy peasy. Talking about the continuous four-tick mechanics here, that's going to be auto, wand, orb, ability, all in the same tick. So that means you have to get them all out within 0.6 seconds, right after each other, and in the right order. That is where the difficulty comes in with four-ticking, really, because that is the most buttons you have to press. 4 buttons in 1 tick. So yeah, it's less than a button every, it's like a button every 0.15 seconds, but you want to be hitting them all in order and faster than that. And that's going to be also for the keyboard I have on screen, this button is actually caps lock for me. I should have mentioned that earlier, my bad. But yeah, this is actually caps lock, the one that's flashing right now. All the rest of them should be the same, at least for what I'm doing here. Although this is actually tabs, this is caps lock and tab. But we won't worry about that. Okay, so auto wand orb ability. You should not see your wand move. And no, I'm not continuous four ticking here because this is actually more ticks, but I'm just trying to get it. You saw there how my wand is like moving forward. If the wand looks like it's doing the staff auto animation, you are doing it too slow. So watch if I do it too slow here. And too slow again. Didn't even get the auto that time. Wow, I can't believe that one worked. But yeah, so you see the idea. If we're doing this, it's whoops, let me dual ability. Auto wand orb ability. Auto wand orb ability. Auto wand orb ability. Auto wand orb ability. We're kind of missing some autos here, but you guys get the point. And you can see the mistakes on the animations. If you ever see stuff moving outside of just the ability, you should only see the ability animations. It should look like you're doing Revo, except different timing, and also the auto attack is actually coming out. So right now, it just looks like this because I'm basically using Revo, just using the abilities. But if I'm four-ticking, we have the abilities, we're just switching a little, but we only see the animations, the abilities. Oh, our dummy got reset. But yeah, so you can see just the abilities being used. If you see anything else, that's a bad sign. And again, we can throw in a concentrated blast after stuff. Like that was 3 abilities between an auto, but we can really just auto whenever. So we can do auto, ability, 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 auto, ability, 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 ability. and then we can auto after that. It's really just, you want to make sure that your last one before you auto is a dual-wield ability, and then you go and do a two-hand ability and an auto. A few more things is to not rush your switches unless you have to. So stuff like the continuous four-ticking, where, let me just get in combat, where I'm doing auto wand orb ability. I have to do that quickly. I have to hit those all within a tick. I have to get them all off quickly. But then after that, you'll notice that switching back to other weapons, I'm being pretty slow on. So it's like, if I'm doing normal four-ticking, you'll notice my staff is just pretty much after the animation. Whoops, I can't Sonic there. So I'm getting like the full animation out almost. So the animation, staff. Because I have 4 whole ticks to get that staff back on, and the more inputs you do at once, the more likely you are to have those inputs eaten. Because there is a limit to how many inputs you can get at once, I believe. Or at least with a lot of keyboards there is. So you want to make sure that you're not rushing when you don't have to be. Just take your time. It's really not that big of a rhythm, it's just auto ability, dual wield, ability, auto ability, ability, auto ability, ability. But you have time, so you don't want to rush when you don't have to. Alright, I hope some of that helped you guys. I know this guide wasn't perfect and it wasn't super clear, but it is my first attempt at making a guide, and I hope it helped at least some of you. I wish you all a good day, and thanks for watching.